Is it really over for the Golden State Warriors? A team who 4 years ago won the NBA championship carried the Larry O'Brien after they had countless and countless of media members doubting them, proving everybody wrong, that they could win with or without Kevin Durant because their chemistry is always going to be there. Did we just witness the end of their constant run to try again to win a championship? And I say that because last night we just saw Jimmy Butler tear his ACL against the Miami Heat, his former team, and is sidelined for the rest of the season. Most likely we're not going to see him back until mid of next year. Do you know how old he's going to be by then? 37 years old, post ACL injury. That's not something you want to see. That's not something you want to see at all from your third or second best player on the team. So what does this mean for the Golden State Warriors moving forward? They traded for Jimmy Butler last season because they're desperate, and they've been desperate. When they've missed so many opportunities to get players that were on friendly contracts that should have worked a lot better. And I always think back of the Lauri Markkanen trade that they should have done before that crazy extension. But after missing out on that, they were desperate enough to go for Jimmy Butler, who wanted to leave the Miami Heat at that time. And it did start off great last season. Towards the end of the year, they were one of the best teams in the league, and it kind of slowed down in the beginning of the season this year. But now, in the past month, like in this month of January, this guy was hooping. Jimmy Butler was going out there showing that they were a real team. Now, at any point did we think, and I say we as NBA fans, besides Warriors fans, did we really think they're a championship contender? No. Unfortunately, this looks like a second round team max. But who knows? Maybe with injury luck on their side, they could have made it to the conference finals or possibly the finals itself. But being realistic, that's just not going to happen. So with Jimmy Butler's sideline for the rest of the season, are they going to be aggressive on the trade deadline, or are they going to cut their losses and say, hey, this is it, that was the last straw, we cannot continue to compete anymore? Now, I've heard people say maybe Jonathan Kuminga stays now. I don't know where that idea comes from. I don't see how that would even happen, because if I'm Jonathan Kuminga, if the Golden State Warriors came up to me and said, hey, now that Jimmy's down, you can get a lot more minutes, I'd be like, no, you guys didn't want to give me minutes from when I started. So no, I'm not going to stay here no matter what happens. Even if everybody was injured, I'm not going to stay here. So I do not see that happening. They're going to have to ship him off to another team anyway. So why would the Warriors ship them off to any team that wouldn't give them a great return? If I'm the Warriors, I stay aggressive. I stay more aggressive than ever. Because Jimmy Butler, a 37-year-old who is going to get off an ACL injury next year, is not going to be the second best player on the team. So if I'm the Warriors, I'm trading Kuminga. I'm getting the Moses Moody as well. I'm putting the picks together and just going for a big swing. I would triple, quadruple, quintuple down on that MPJ trade. To me, the question with that trade isn't if the Warriors are willing to do it. It's more so, are the Brooklyn Nets willing to just get the picks in Jonathan Kuminga? I mean, we've seen this happen before, right? I mean, Mikal Bridges went in Brooklyn and started hooping immediately. Like, he was becoming, it looked like for a couple weeks into the season, looked like he was like the next KD. Obviously not as good, but like a B- version of KD. And then after, the Brooklyn Nets see this and they're like, all right, I don't think Mikal's really like that. But there's a team out there who's willing to give us 5 first-round picks in the New York Knicks, and we are more than willing to trade Mikal Bridges for that. And that's what they did. And I feel like we're just seeing MPJ do the same thing. We're seeing history repeat itself one more time. MPJ comes off Denver, is having a career year, offensively, efficiently, everything, and now his stock is at an all-time high. And now you can get a Warriors team desperate to get a player like that who can give you all of their picks. Now, are they going to be that valuable? We have no idea, but you get to ship off MPJ at his all-time high stock, because I don't think he's going to get any better than this. This could be an excessive, like, really good stretch from him, or maybe this is who he is, but you don't know if you're going to, like, encounter a team who is desperate enough. So you're either going to go for the Bucks, who don't have that many draft picks, or you're going to go for the Warriors, who have more draft picks, and you get Jonathan Kuminga, which is probably what's going to end up happening regardless. So with that being said, the Warriors now have to make up their mind and be like, yeah, we got to quintuple down on this trade, because if we don't, what are we going to get out of this? I don't see any player on the trade market who's going to be as helpful of a player on your team as Michael Porter Jr. would be. Now, like I said on my last video when I'm talking about the potential trade targets for MPJ and who Golden State can trade for, I didn't like the idea of MPJ on the Warriors too much, not even because of the play style, because I think the play style fits in great. They need another player who just wants to shoot all the time and score, and it does kind of help that load off of Steph Curry, because Jimmy Butler was supposed to help out, and what he has, it's not been the scoring aspect as much. Like, you'll have some games where he'll drop 30, maybe 40, but he's not always willing to take those shots. He just lets the game come to him. But with Michael Porter Jr., he's just always trying to shoot no matter what. So I do feel like you can't leave Steph and Michael Porter Jr. open. You would want that type of player on your team, but is that going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to hold off on that trade, because if they do anything but be aggressive, I think they're dumb. I think at no point with Steph Curry on your team, you should stop being aggressive. You already proved that you were going to build around Steph Curry after you let, like, Klay Thompson go. So So I think it would be irresponsible of them to go out of their way now and just be like, you know what? Now that Jimmy Butler's down, it's over. No, that's not what you do. You got Jonathan Kuminga. You can trade him for valuable assets. You have the assets to get a better player. So why would you not be aggressive in this scenario? The unfortunate part is in all this is the fact that I don't think no matter what trade they do, that they will win another championship. I don't think they're going to reach the conference finals at all. I doubt they're even going to get past the first round of this star-studded Western Conference. But if the decision is between just give it up or go all in, I'd go all in. At the bare minimum, if you get MPJ or at least another player alongside Steph Curry, who's not old, because I don't want them to get Norman Powell, not because I'm a Heat fan, but just because Norman Powell would help them this season and that's it. And this is already a lost season and will also want a lot of money. I'd rather you just go for MPJ, who's a little bit younger. And if he's younger, when everybody else is off the books, you have MPJ. So now you can either trade him, who's still going to have more value than a Norman Powell or any other player that you can get in this situation, or you can hold on to him and be like, hey, let's build around you for a little bit. Let's build up your trade value and let's sell you off to another team for some valuable assets. I don't think it's a good idea to just be like, yeah, we're good. Let's stop. Let's just call it quits. No, that trade that I seen that Klay Thompson can go back to the Warriors for Jonathan Kuminga, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea at all. Fairy tale ending? Yes, it would be, but it's just not something I think you should do at this point. Now, if they do it, I'd be like, hey, it is what it is. At least we can see Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond. They're going to battle it out one more year or whatever. But I don't think it's a good idea to go out of your way and just call it quits. I think you should keep going and keep being aggressive, or more aggressive than ever before, thinking, hey, if we can get an MPJ type of player, then by the time Jimmy Butler comes back next season, we're not asking him to do so much because they're already taking the shots. He can become another Draymond. Just focus on defense. Let the shots come to you. Be the third player, the third offensive player on the team, like the third option. And that would be perfectly fine. That'd be way better than letting Jimmy Butler come back and being like, hey guys, just take it slow. No. Or, hey, Jimmy Butler, go crazy. Become that playoff Butler that everybody wants you to be. Like, no, that's not going to happen. And I keep saying MPJ, like I said before, because I think it's the best fit. But who knows? Maybe they go for Domantas Sabonis. Maybe they go for another type of NBA player. But as long as they're just younger, it's fine. I don't want them to go for another old player or anybody above 31 because it just wouldn't make sense with their time. Like, not that their timeline, more so it just wouldn't make sense at all because the season's over. So this could either be the end of their dynasty or their team, like that core as a whole of like really trying to push for another championship, or maybe they can just squeeze another year out of it. Maybe they could squeeze one more year out of it and hope that whoever they get becomes that great player that can take off the heavy load that they're taking on their shoulders, and lift it from them so that they can be more efficient. Because we're asking 37-year-old Steph Curry to do some crazy things. And the worst part is he's doing it. But no matter what he can drop 50 points and they can still lose. Don't even matter what they have on the team. If everybody's healthy, it doesn't matter. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen for the next 2 seasons with the Warriors. I don't know what direction it's going to be. I would hate for it to end off on such a bad note with like, hey, injuries cooked us at the end. We made an aggressive move. Now we're just cooked for the future financially and draft picks and asset-wise. But who knows? That's the price to pay when you want to go aggressive, and you're going to have to deal with it if it does happen. If it does come that way, you're going to have to deal with it. But I do think that they should be aggressive. They should not just call it quits. They should continue to be aggressive. They should continue to try to get the best return for Jonathan Kuminga. And I think Jonathan Kuminga should get out of there. I love the Warriors as a franchise. I love what type of culture they've built. But unfortunately, they've handled the Jonathan Kuminga situation way too bad, and I don't think they've been able to get the best player out of him. And it sucks because you only have one NBA career. You only get to do this one time. And for Jonathan Kuminga, he has the right to be mad. He got that championship under his belt, which is great, but just not the reps that you want to go into the NBA for. So it does suck for both sides. I do think it's best they move off of him regardless. And I don't think that he should, even if like with Jimmy Butler being down, he should not want to stay. He should get out of there and look for another team that's not the Kings that would want to build around him. And that's the best situation for his career. But hey, that's just what I think about the situation. Maybe you guys think otherwise. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think is going to end up happening or what you guys think would be best for their team. Hit the like if you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know what I could have done better as a creator. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to watch more basketball videos, because every week I'm trying to do 4 videos at the bare minimum. I'm trying to push for as much content as I can, so as soon as I get those reps in, I can just become better and better and better. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.